Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Fox 23 News. I'm Nicole Menner. It was a tight road game for Southern Miss Saturday as they fell to Charlotte 20-17. The Golden Eagles totaled 446 yards of offense, but quarterback Jack Abraham would throw 3 first-half interceptions. Southern Miss is now in a tie with UT San Antonio for 4th place in the conference's West Division.
And our guys fought. As a football coach, you're always proud of that. We fought to the end. We just made too many mistakes. You know, that's as honest as I can be. We had opportunities to score numerous times, and that's something that we've got to correct as coaches and players. We've got to make sure that we really work on finite details, and you know, it's a frustrating loss, but guess what? It's a loss, and it's spilt milk, and we got to go on, and we got to move on to the next game.
The next game is this weekend at home against Marshall. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs hosting the 16th ranked Aggies of Texas A&M, whose only 2 losses came from Alabama and Clemson. But State finally finding that consistency they've been missing for most of the season. Nick Fitzgerald bounced back from the worst start of his college career, throwing for 241 yards, running for another 88, and scoring 4 total touchdowns to get the Dogs to 5-3 and back in the top 25 at 21 in this week's AP poll.
You know, last night that we were going to go after it, and we were going to call this game aggressively on offense, defense, and special teams, but particularly on offense. Because as I did a self-evaluation, kind of looked at the past few weeks, and in some ways, the fabric of the season, I felt like I lost my identity as a play caller. And instead of worrying about what could go wrong in protection and throws and routes, we're going to worry about what's going right, and we're going to go after it.
The Bulldogs host Louisiana Tech next weekend to wrap up the non-conference schedule. Well, the New Orleans Saints were able to stay atop the NFC South with a big win over the Minnesota Vikings Sunday night. Probably wasn't in the way most people expected. Drew Brees throwing for just 120 yards and tossing his first pick of the year, but it was that Saints defense that came up with a pair of big plays to change the game. At the end of the first half, Vikings receiver Adam Thielen fumbled the ball in the red zone. The Saints turned that into 7 points, and then Kirk Cousins threw a pick 6 in the third, and the Vikings just couldn't recover. It was a gutsy win on what was a slow offensive night.
We were efficient. There weren't a ton of big plays, but it was just a lot of grinded out type football. Time of possession, running the ball well, getting completions, and putting ourselves in positions to score.
And the Boston Red Sox are your new World Series champions after taking down the Dodgers in LA last night in Game 5. After recording the most regular season wins in franchise history with 108, the Red Sox steamrolled through the playoffs by posting a record of 11-3. Steve Pearce led the Boston offense with 3 home runs and 8 RBI in the Fall Classic on his way to the World Series MVP trophy. Keep in mind, he wasn't even on this team until July, and he grew up a huge Red Sox fan. Of course, plenty of celebration, 9th title in franchise history, and the 4th for the Red Sox in the last 15 years.
Man,
it's pretty incredible. Pretty incredible.
Monday, and I was like, gosh, I wonder who won the World Series.
I know, I'm so glad I'm letting you all know. Mark didn't watch, so he didn't know. I had to break the news to him today when I came in.
It's worth a recap.
It's been a tough day for him.
It's worth a recap.
It's not been a tough day.